Hey guys, Banana Luck here. Welcome back to another Watcher Realms video. So it is Tuesday, and we got to reset the calendar moves, and there we go. The Iovar Carnelian banner is now official, and boy, am I excited! So we're gonna take a look at these two heroes and talk about why I'm gonna be summoning for them, and yeah. So first of all is Iovar. Is the exclusive Piercer Lord from Ancient Summons. You can't get him in the normal summons, and we'll just take a look at Lord skill first of all. So same thing, the usual 15% faction member boost, and you also get an increased range. And when deployed, faction team members damage increase by 15% every 20 seconds, stacking up to 3 times, which winds up at 45% increase in damage. So in comparison to the other piercer, which is Araka, for every 1 tile away from the target, increases their damage by 5% up to 50%. So you can really start to see the difference why Iovar is a much better option, because in which bloody content do we have archers or marksmen that can shoot 10 freaking tiles away? We don't. In Guild Wars, for example, that's 4 or 5 tiles away. That's like 25% or maybe 60%, 30% damage at most. It's not as amazing as what Iovar has, obviously. And the other fact that you have to take into account too is that Iovar is actually a marksman that can deal some pretty decent damage. Araka is more there for crowd control. So just based on being a lord alone, you can start to see why Iovar shines a lot better. So taking a look at his stats, attack 4.2k, not the highest, not the craziest, but it's still not too bad. I think it's slightly above average. And attack interval of 2 seconds, that's I think a bit below normal. It's a bit faster. So we'll take a look at his talent first. Conjures 1 flying sword every 4 seconds. There can be 12 flying swords at the same time. And every ally marksman on the field increases the conjuring speed. And there's 4 extra marksmen. Conjuring speed maxes out, reaching 1 flying sword every 2 seconds. So what is flying swords for, you'll find out in a bit, but in a nutshell, he passively gains these swords, but the more marksmen there are in the field, the faster he gains them. And then basic attack deals 50% damage to one enemy 2 times. Very straightforward, almost it's almost normal that we get this. And if we take a look at his range, yeah, it's the normal 12 tile range, 15 when extended. Then his first passive, Victorious Pursuit, when upon casting the ultimate, reduces the attack interval by 20%. Each attack deals 55% damage 3 times instead, and this effect lasts for 10 seconds. If an ultimate consumes 12 flying swords, duration is extended by 5 seconds, so up to 15 seconds, and this damage goes up to 80% 3 times, which basically is quite a big boost. 150% more damage, because all in all, that's 240% damage. Normally he does 120%. So yeah, that's 250% of what he will originally do. And bear in mind that his attack interval goes down as well, which, his attack interval at the moment is really pretty wacky. Second passive, after an allied marksman casts their ultimate, gains 1 flying sword, and the following 3 basic attacks of this hero ignores an extra, let's see, penetration increase that goes up to 23%. Anti-air damage increase goes up to 8%. So it's a bit confusing here. We don't know if anti-air damage, there's no like extra here. So that's like 7% extra damage. I'm not too sure. But all I read from this is that it's good to have as many marksmen on his side as much as possible. And then his ultimate consumes all flying sword, activates the flying sword formation, continuously dealing 25% damage to the enemy with the lowest HP in range. So good for sniping out low HP units. Frequency of the strikes increases with the numbers of flying sword, makes sense, and reaching up to 60 strikes within 12 flying swords. So yeah, not sure on the numbers and all that, but this just screams damage. Altogether, that's 40% damage per strike. 60 strikes with 12 flying swords, that's gonna be 2,400% damage. a pretty good burst, considering that his base attack is not too bad. But bear in mind there's physical stuff, so against units that are physically strong or have a physical armor, then it's not going to be as great. And then go into his awakenings. A1, when ultimate ends, 40% chance to generate 4 flying swords. You basically want as many flying swords as possible because of his passive, right? Where if it consumes 12 swords, this gets increased duration, and also coupled with the fact that this is more damage. And considering the fact that his rage cap is 500, this is pretty decent when it comes to, uh, how much extra damage you can actually get out of him. A2 is extra attack and also increase damage to airborne units. It's pretty standard for piercer lots. A3, duration of his passive, the one that reduces attack interval and increased damage. That goes up by 5 seconds, so going up to 20. A4 crit rate, not the most amazing, but it just makes it easier for him to be built. A5, when deployed immediately, obtains 12 swords, so it just means that from the first deployment, he's going to get a lot of damage. Honestly, if you ask me, I think A3 is the sweet spot. A4 and A5 don't seem that amazing, but this is an ancient exclusive lot. Not going to be pulling so many extra copies unless you have crazy amount of cash lying around. But with that being said, like what I mentioned earlier, when you compare Iovar to Araka, it's very obvious that one is a lot better compared to the other when it comes to raw damage output. And yeah, Iovar is just made for that. If you take a look at, GVG comms, Araka still can be decent with the crowd control, with a passive stunning and webbing targets up. But if you take a look at Pelagios Codex, for example, then Iovar just shines a lot better because you can actually place him there. You can't place ground units, which means that Araka is just a wasted slot. And bear in mind that this damage increase, that's a lot more than what you usually find. Considering that this is our usual marksman range, you extend that by a bit, that's like what, 5,000 away? 25% damage compared to what Iovar will grant you, which is 45% extra damage. So yeah, that's a Iovar for you. Personally, you can see that I don't have any legendary piercer lots, which is why that I want him. And also for the fact that right now in Arena, my anti-air team is pretty much a desperate one, using nightmare units instead. I have an A4 Arrogance, A3 Hatsuit, which somehow makes this work out decent in 6x. But obviously this is not what we want. Ideally, I want Iovar, Tywin, Stylus, Hatsuit, Nyx. My Nyx is A3, so she's ready for that. So that's what we're pulling this weekend. We're also near Ancient PD, so why not? And fingers crossed that we do actually get him. But the other hero I want to talk about, Carnelian. Honestly, I didn't really like her ever since they nerfed Valeria, where Carnelian herself also couldn't revive her with her Soul Essence Orb, which is the most important part of this hero, because there's only one hero that can grant unyielding to everyone everyone that she's able to heal, and that's Carnelian. And for some reason, they decided to nerf Valeria, where Carnelian's Soul Essence Orb doesn't interact with her ultimate. She still dies no matter what, even if the Soul Essence Orb is on. So that's the reason why I didn't really like her after that rework. Didn't really use her as well, but ever since Samra came back, she's pretty much essential on all runs. You can see my best run here, 151k with Carnelian. If you look at the world rankings, Carnelian is pretty much going to be in all teams as well, unless you have a dedicated stunner. So this guy has Helga, as well as Hex, as well as Lucius, which makes this lineup work for him. Other than that, Carnelian is going to be pretty much in all of these lineups unless you have someone to consistently stun your units. But Carnelian is just a much safer option unless you're lacking damage, because stunners like Helga can actually dish out some damage while Carnelian can't. So there's pretty much nothing else that I want to share about Carnelian. She's just great for Samra. She makes it so much easier for you. If you don't have a piercer lot, don't have a legendary PS slot like Araka, you don't have Carnelian, this is the best time to actually go on this banner. It's not the greatest banner, it's not going to be Praetor's level, but Iovar is going to be great for certain parts of the game where, you never know that you need him. So, yeah, I'm definitely going to summon on this, even though my Carnelian is A1 already, because simply for the fact that we don't have a PS a lot. Hopefully we do get Iovar. I don't mind Carnelian dupes, but honestly at this point there are a lot more ancient heroes that I'm going after. For example, I don't mind getting a Praetus, obviously. Pelagios would be nice as well. Eunomia, it's alright, not the best, but Ingrid is also another one of the lots that I don't mind getting. But other than that, the chaotic heroes, I still really like chaotic heroes. It's just that without Valderon, you can't really do anything in Samra. And yeah, that's not really the lot that I want. Durza is great for AoE content. Saga is great for GVG as well as NTF. So yeah, I mean, any of these units would be fine, but honestly, at this point, when you have gone 310 ancient summons in without any non-lot legendaries, I'll be happy just getting any one of them. So yeah, that's gonna be it for the video. If you have any questions, leave it down in the comment section below. Let me know if you're summoning on this banner or if you're not. And if you're not, is it because you're waiting for the new Nightmare lot, or you just don't feel like spending on this one? So yeah, that's gonna be it for the video. If you like the content, feel free to leave a like or subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.